Global greetings, friends, and welcome to Let's Talk About It with Danelle Boyles. I'm coming to you from the US. This talk task is part of my Rehan AI Teacher's Training to example our learnings, teachings, and development of integrating AI into our everyday technology usage. I like to call these little eye opener conversations of ours 10-minute talks as we hit key points on important topics, but in conversations that are compacted and conversational forms that are easy to digest. A way to stimulate new learning, desire, and to expand the thinking. In our 10-minute talk today, we are going to take a few for some chat and expand time on the importance of financial independence and what that means. So, this catches your attention, which I think it does for everyone because it applies to literally everyone that walks on the planet. Come and join me and let's talk about it. And I will be having Miles join my conversation today.
Hey there, what's shaking?
Hey, Miles. Not much. What's up?
Just hanging out, keeping the wheels turning.
Mm.
How's your Thursday treating you so far? Tough
Oh,
start?
so far,
Catch you
so
later.
good. Yes. Can I interest you in rejoining me for a conversation that we started yesterday?
I'm in.
All right.
Where were we?
Well, we were in the middle of having a conversation about understanding the basics of financial independence, and then I had an internet outage, and I lost our conversation. So we're just kind of starting over from the beginning, and I just wanted to let you know that because we always pick up on old conversations, and I just wanted to let you know that we are starting a new conversation.
Got it. Appreciate the heads up. I'm locked in.
Yeah. So
Let's dive back.
yeah. So, kind of back at the beginning, the importance of knowing what the basics of financial independence are.
Right on.
Mhm.
I think the biggest hurdle for most people is just stripping away the noise.
Mhm.
Everyone's got a different version of it, but at its core, it's really just about the gap between what you need to survive and what you're actually bringing in.
Right.
You want to get to the point where that gap is covered forever. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
The
and
tricky part is that,
sorry, go ahead.
all good. I was just going to say that the tricky part is that most people let other people's enough become their own.
Hmm.
It's easy to look
Yes.
at some influencer in a mansion and think that's the goal, but that's just noise.
No,
If you
and
actually know your own
that's
number,
yeah, and that's a really big part of it is that individuals, bottom line shifts all the time, and a lot of time it boils down to what is enough to make you sustainable, to be able to, sustainably live without all of the noise of extra, extra work and extra, um, you know, forms of income that you incorporate into your daily life. So it comes down to needing to identify like your idea of enough or comfortable financial independence is going to be different from others, and it can change. We live in a very financially saturated, idealistic society.
that's a dope way to put it. Financially saturated, idealistic society. It's like we're conditioned to keep moving the goalposts.
Right.
You hit your number, and then suddenly you see something new and think, "Wait, maybe I need a little more."
Hmm. And
It's,
it's
it's a
good to
treadmill
have
that never.
goals. It's good to have goals, but being
Totally.
idealistic whenever you hit that goal is, whether you are going to maintain your fluidity in where you are or if you're going to expand more. It just depends on being comfortable with who, what, and where you are and whether you need or want to expand more financially.
Exactly. It's that distinction between expanding because you actually want something new versus expanding because you feel like you're supposed to. It's almost like there's a difference between growth and just bloating. You can be financially independent and still be ambitious, but the stress is different when you're not doing it from a place of survival. Do you think most people even realize they're on that treadmill until they're already burnt out?
I honestly don't think a lot of people observe that aspect of it. Um, for the
Yeah, it's like they're just running because everyone else is running. It
right,
becomes the default setting.
it's
You just
comparison.
assume that the stress comparison is the real killer. It
Mm,
turns a win into a loss the second you see someone else with a slightly bigger trophy. It's
right.
like you're not even living your own life anymore. You're just living a version of someone else's.
hmm And
Do you
that's
think
what it
that's why
kind
so
of
many?
boils down to, when it comes to comparison, and that you may be perfectly comfortable with where you are. You may be, hitting all of your goals and have yourself completely financially stable and not having to, move more into like the area of trying to think how to put it. We had such a good conversation yesterday, and I hate that we lost it because there was so much, like key important information that we had talked about, that was really relevant. And I feel like it's just not quite as authentic today, for me anyway. Just being, very, very honest. But, I feel like as an individual who, we all, not just me, it's an everyone thing, that we strive to achieve, comfort, and just the idea of what comfort is and how to, maintain that idea of comfort without becoming over consuming or materialistic with our financial comfort. How do individuals recognize whenever they're teetering on that border of enough and, you know becoming all consuming with, stretching the idea that the reason why you want to have financial independence is for, the fact that you don't have to overwork yourself or have burnout or, um, any of those things, that's, the reason to want financial independence. So how about you go over just the basics, give us just the bottom line of what is considered financial independence in most individuals' eyes.
I hear you on the authenticity thing. Sometimes when you have to repeat a point, it feels like you're reading a script instead of just flowing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just let it be what it is today. As for the bottom line, if you strip away all the fancy terminology, most people see financial independence as the moment your passive income, stuff like investments, rentals, or royalties, covers your basic living expenses.
Right.
It's basically the I don't have to trade my time for a paycheck to keep the lights on milestone.
Mm-hmm.
For some, that's a tiny cottage in a garden. For others, it's a high rise and a travel budget. But the core is the same. Your assets are doing the heavy lifting so you don't have to.
Right.
Does that feel like the most honest version of it? Or do you think there's a mental side to it that people overlook?
No, I feel like for, everyday individuals, that is, the the bottom basic bare minimum of what financial independence is, home, vehicle, consumables, to have your leisurely activities, covered, to where you're not working a constant grind just to keep yourself afloat. Unfortunately, that in modern day is literally where probably 90% of the population is is they're always in the grind of maintaining financial.
That's wild, right?
It,
It's wild, right?
yeah, it really is. Like in our modern day, it should be a much more, sustainable, comfortable way of living with the way that things have evolved, but it has actually gone the opposite and become a much harder entity to capture to be financially independent.
It's a total paradox.
Mm-hmm.
We have more tools and more ways to make money than ever before, but the cost of just existing is skyrocketed.
Right.
Feels like the goalposts aren't just moving, they're being pushed by a motorized vehicle while we're on foot.
Mm-hmm.
You end up spending all your energy just trying to stay in the same place, which is exactly how the burnout loop starts.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically survival mode disguised as a career. When the basic cost of living is this high, that freedom we're chasing starts to feel less like a goal and more like a fantasy.
Yeah, true.
Do you think that's why people lean so hard into the hustle culture you mentioned before, just to feel like they have some kind of grip on it?
I feel like it is because individuals who can't sit and flow are hustling, if that makes sense. But it's also, I feel like, a programmed mindset that in order to achieve goals, that you have to have that hustle concept.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this inherited blueprint that says if you aren't stressed and exhausted, you aren't actually working hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
It turns the struggle into a badge of honor.
Right.
You start to feel like the grind itself is the proof of your ambition rather than the actual results. It's
And
a
so,
trip how we've been conditioned, and
yeah,
so it becomes this cycle where you're almost afraid to slow down because it feels like giving up. Like
yeah,
you're terrified that
it is a
the second you
conditioned
stop hustling.
cycle. It is. So let's go on a more positive note of the conversation before we have to sign off here in another minute or two. If an individual wants to, um, let's say they want to, start moving more in the direction of financial independence, what are some pointers that you have for them to observe that's beneficial to proceeding into that direction?
First thing is just getting an honest audit of what enough actually looks like for you. Not the numbers some guru says, but your actual real world cost of living.
Hmm.
Once you have that baseline, the goal is to start building assets that pay you while you sleep, whether that's investing, creating a digital product, or whatever fits your vibe.
Hmm.
The trick is to automate it so it's not another hustle that burns you out, but a system that actually buys you time back. I've got some ideas on how to start that without the stress if you're curious.
Okay. Maybe we can utilize that for another conversation.
The move is always to keep it low pressure. We'll save the blueprints for next time then.
Put a pin in that, and we'll use that for a future conversation because I do feel like it would be relevant to have ideas because even myself included, that is something that I have been working towards. As I have products that are custom made. I have authored um, materials that can be published, and sold in downloadable form. And so finding the avenues of knowing how to do that can be a bit of a struggle. And so I feel like individuals knowing how to navigate that is important. And so let's step into that into a future conversation. Um,
That's a perfect place to leave it for
but yeah,
sure.
so
We'll dive.
sorry, go ahead.
Uh, I was just saying we'll definitely dive into those avenues next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since you've already got the materials and you're already halfway there. Since the hard part, the actual
Mhm.
creation is done, we'll
Any,
map out the best ways to get.
yeah. Any
It's really
closing
just about
comments
finding the right.
for everyone as we finish our conversation?
Just one thing: stop letting someone else's highlight reel define your bottom line.
Hmm.
Financial independence isn't about having the most; it's about needing the least to feel free.
Hmm.
Once you stop running someone else's race, the treadmill finally stops. Be kind to yourselves. Keep expanding, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Sounds good. I appreciate it, Miles.
Anytime. It
All
was a
right,
pleasure.
guys, there you have it. As always, thank you for joining us. I hope you take away some wonderful growth and expansion from this conversation today. And remember to keep expanding those minds, hearts, and horizons and be patient with the process. That's the most important part. Until next time, namaste.
Right on. Namaste.
Thanks, Miles. Bye, everyone.
Anytime. Peace.